Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be starting a series in which I'm going to be completing some coding challenges in the least amount of time I can complete them. So basically why I'm doing this is when I started working with React especially, I found it more useful to watch YouTube tutorials which were like fast-paced and direct to the point. So I thought this could be like a good learning experience, and I can also practice my skills. So today I'm going to be starting with like a simpler project. I'm going to just be demonstrating how to make an API call for this weather API I found online. The link for the API is down below. Also, I'm going to be using my API key, and I'm just saying that I'm going to delete the key after I upload this video, so it doesn't matter if you guys use the same key. I would recommend getting your own key, which is really simple. You just go here and it's free. So basically, I just opened this React application, and if you guys don't know how to start a React application, I have a video which I'm linking on the bottom, like on the description or whatever, so you guys can see it. So for now on, we're gonna start working on it. So okay, let me quit this and npm start. Okay, let's see how our project is running. Okay, so it's an empty screen, so let's put something here. Let's imagine we're gonna have a title, so an h1 saying current weather, and let's have an input, so input of type text, because basically what I'm thinking is you'll have an input where you can write like the name of a city you want to see the weather data, and just have a button right next to it where you can, let me see, search weather, or like just search, where whenever you click the button it will display the data. So yeah, we currently have this, and let me add some CSS. I have this app.css file, and the only thing I added was I removed the margin and the padding for the HTML tag because it was irritating me a bit. So let's see, I'm gonna call the app div, and I'm gonna basically add some flags to it. So I'm gonna align items center. For those who don't know, this is a good way to always like center stuff, because it was like one of the hardest things for me when I started working with CSS. Basically just turn divs into display flags and try to play around with the align items and the justify content and set them to center, and you'll see that everything will be centered, as you can see here. But the thing is, as you can see, they are in the same row. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the flex direction to column, and this will put like one on top of the other, but I want the button to be next to the input. So I'm gonna wrap both inputs with a div, and let me give it a class name of inputs, and I think that should work. Yeah. Okay, so down below, like right here, I want to display everything related to the data, and I'm using this Json Viewer website where I can just pull this weirdly looking JSON and just kind of like analyze it. So basically when I call for a city, in this case I'm calling for New York, I will receive the coordinates, the weather, so like as you can see, like clear sky, and this icon, I think it's an image, but then you get like temperature, feels like minimum temperature, this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking more like I'm gonna display the description, this information, so the temperature, the humidity, and maybe this stuff, so like the country and the city name. So yeah, I think so. So let's see, I'm gonna create a div below this, which let's call it div class name, let's call it display data, and inside of here let me style the div display data. Let me give it a border, 2 pixels solid and black, and I always like to give a border radius, so like 10 pixels, and let's make the width equals to 80% and the height equals to like 500 pixels. Let's see. Okay, we have a div. Let's kind of like margin top, like let's push it to the bottom. So margin top, I don't know, 60 pixels. So yeah, okay. Currently we have this. Nothing happens if we click on stuff, but I'm gonna be working on this right now. So we're gonna have a state, and this state is going to handle the city name. So I'm gonna call the use state hook, and let me see, city, and set city, and this is going to be a string. So I'm just gonna put an empty string, and whenever the input is onChange, so if I put an onChange property here, I basically can just set the city state into as whatever we're writing in the input. So how do I do this? Basically, I just give it a parameter called e, which is an event, and I set city equal to e.target.value. And if I'm correct, let me just console log this. E.target.value. Whatever I'm writing on the input is gonna be console log. So let's see. Yeah, that's correct. So that's working. Now let's kind of handle the button. I'm gonna give it a non-click. So, and let's create a function which will search. So const search weather equals and inside of here, let me just copy this. Inside of the search weather, I'm basically going to just make the API call, and in this case, I'm not using the fetch method. I'm just gonna use a built-in, not a built-in, actually, it's an external library called Axios. And if you guys don't know it, it's a simple way to make API calls. You just need to go to your terminal and write npm I Axios. So it's gonna install, and on the top here you can import a variable called Axios from Axios. Okay, so how does Axios work? Basically, I want to make an API call, right? So I write Axios dot the request you want to make. So it's a get request. So, and inside of here we're gonna put the endpoint. So in our case, I want to search for the weather based on city names. So this is the URL I need to use for this. You can look, they have a bunch of different endpoints and things you can do with this API. If you guys want to look, just go to their website. But at least for this application, I'm just using this. And inside of here, I'm inserting the URL. But since I'm gonna be, so let's just console log the response.data. Let's see what will happen if we do all of this. So let's come here. I'm gonna write New York, and wait, let me see here, New York, and let's search. Okay, so they returned, and it's working. So they returned basically the object, which includes everything we just saw here in the Json viewer. You can see the coordinates, the temperature, and all that information. So it's working. And what I want to do now is just create an object, like a state, which will basically contain all the information for this response. So let's think of it. It's weather data. So let me set weather data. Wait, I wrote weather wrong. So weather data, and this is going to actually be an object. So let's see, and let's give it an empty. What do we want actually? Let's stop to think. What do we want from this? I'm getting we decided to get the description. So we'll have the description, we'll have the temperature, we're gonna have the minimum temperature, the maximum temperature, the humidity. Okay, I'm gonna be making this one by one. So let's set the empty object. So we want description equal to an empty string, And actually, let me just do this because now I can see it better. Maybe here, description. Then we want temp, so equals to a string, a number, so 0. Then let's see, temp min equals to a number, temp max equals to a number, and let's add humidity. The other things are cool too. It's just that it doesn't really matter for this project. I'm just trying to add as much information as needed for you guys to understand how this all works. And yeah, let's see. We also want to put sunrise and sunset. Sunrise, so it's gonna be a number, so 0. Sunset, it's gonna be a number. Then let's just put city. No, we already have the city name, so let's just make the country. So country. And this is going to be a string. Okay, we created the object. This is basically a state which holds this object with this parameters. And let's see, in display data, we're just going to, actually before using display data, we're gonna insert the object right here. We're gonna create the object right here. So set weather data, and let's see, description equals to response dot data dot, let's see, dot main. Is it a main? No, it's weather. So weather dot dot description. Okay, let's see if this works. No, it works. Yeah. So let's see, next it's temp. So temp equals to response dot data dot main dot temp. And I'm just gonna copy this for a bit because it's gonna be repetitive. It's temp min equals to temp min, and let me copy it again. Let's see, temp max. And you guys can like play around with the data. Like you don't have to do it exactly as I'm doing, because I'm just adding whatever data I think it's important. So you guys can do what fits best for you guys. So humidity equals to response data main dot humidity. So humidity. And what else did we add? We added sunrise. Yeah, fuck, we added too much data. Sunrise response dot data dot sys dot sunrise. And I'm gonna copy this again and just, let's see, sunrise, so sunset and sunset. And finally, country. So response dot data dot sys dot country. Okay, we have the object. Let's see if we can display the description. So let's call weather data dot description. Let's see if it works. So we're here. Let's write, I don't know, London. Let's search. And did it work? Let's see what happened. It returned an object. It's correct, but it's not working. Submit. Okay, we get, oh, okay, because it's an array. Okay, that makes sense. So instead of just console logging weather.description, we kind of like call the first element .description. So let's see if it works. No, it didn't. Cannot read description of undefined, because we don't do this here. We actually do it here. This is why the Json Viewer is really important. Let's see, and let's call let's say London search, and as you can see, it works. So it just describes the weather in London right now. So yeah, it's working. So we're just gonna display the data, and this is pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna make some h3 tags. Actually, let me make a and let me just copy and paste. No, actually, let me just structure it with h3s. Yeah. And I'm gonna map through the No, I'm just gonna hard code it. Okay, so h3 weather description, something like this, description, and then temperature, then temp min, temp max, humidity, sunrise, sunset, country, city. Okay, no, actually the city I'm gonna put above. So this is gonna be temperature, and this is gonna be temp. This is gonna be minimum temperature. This is gonna be temp min. Maximum temperature, and this is going to be temp max. Let me see, humidity, so humidity, and this is going to be humidity. Probably there's going to be some errors because, again, just like description, I didn't take a very good look at the JSON, so there might be some issues like it happened before. Sunrise, sunset, and country. Okay, let's see if it works. So, okay, New York search, and as you can see, it works. Everything appears here. And okay, it looks good. It's not the prettiest thing ever, but let me change this. Let me see what I can do. I'm actually going to display data, display text. I'm gonna text a line, justify, and I'm gonna add some padding. So padding left, this isn't going to be responsive, so 30%. Wait, what happened? Okay, wait, let me actually change this. This is going to be like the container, so, and this is just going to be a div with a class name called data, and I think this should look good, at least for this, but to be honest, I don't know. The point of this isn't to make this look the best, but yeah, what I'm trying to do is basically let me see, New York search. Yeah, to be honest, I don't care that much if it doesn't look that good, cause at least you guys can understand that, yeah. And I'm also gonna put a margin top of 50 pixels. Okay, but before we finish this, I'm also going to make some changes. If this fails, then let me see. Actually, I'm gonna create a state called const use state, and this state will basically just hold if the data was loaded, so that we don't have an empty display. We don't have this. Basically, currently we have everything printed out, but there's no data inside of it. So I just want to check to see if the data is already in. So basically I'll just set loaded equals to true whenever we get a response, and I'm gonna add a question here, so data loaded, and let's see, and now it should be working. So you can see nothing appears, and when I put let me see, Los Angeles, and I search, the data appears and we can see everything. You guys learned a bit about API calling and fetching information, especially like since I find this weather API one of like the best APIs for starting to learn how to deal with this kind of data. And to be honest, I feel like this could be like a good first step into learning how to make more complex applications in React. So I hope you guys learn a lot from this. So I'm going to be making more videos on this coding challenges. If you guys want to give me an idea on what should I do, I'm also going to be trying to make this shorter, because like I think we're 20 minutes in, and I'll definitely want to make it like 15 or less. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I see you guys later.